She lived a quiet life. No rank, no name, no attention. But one son, a suspicious call, 2 uneasy officers, and a black SUV shattered the silence. What began as a routine yard cleanup turned into a classified recall mission only she could handle. Because she wasn't backup, she was the last line. It was a quiet Sunday. The kind of afternoon that drifted in slowly, like warm wind through open windows. Birds chirped lazily in the distance. A soft breeze shifted the trees. The sky was clean, unmarred by storm or cloud. Nothing about that day hinted at disruption. In a modest house nestled at the far edge of a small town, she pulled on worn gardening gloves. Her movements were deliberate, methodical. She wasn't rushing. She wasn't distracted. She was simply cleaning. Beneath a stone bench in her backyard, she pulled weeds with quiet precision. A rake leaned against the fence. Her faded t-shirt bore no logo. Sweatpants, boots, utility, not fashion. The house itself was unremarkable, single-story, neat, tucked away behind privacy shrubs. She lived alone, chose it that way. No one noticed her comings and goings, and that made people nervous. At 1:43 p.m., a call came into the local precinct. A concerned neighbor reported odd behavior. Something about possible weapons. Tall woman, never talks. Corner lot. Suspicious silence. In small towns, silence is the loudest noise of all. 2 patrol officers responded. Officer Daniels and Officer Morrison. Routine call, they figured. Domestic misunderstanding. They were used to breaking up bar fights and issuing parking warnings. This was different, but they didn't know it yet. Their cruiser crunched down the gravel of her driveway. The gate to the backyard was open. They walked through. She didn't look up. "Ma'am, do you live here?" the younger one asked. She nodded once. "Nothing more. We got a call. We need you to come with us while we investigate." Still no words. Just a raised brow. Not defiance. Just measured silence. "Ma'am," the older officer said, now with his hand subtly drifting to his holster, "step away from the rake. Hands where I can see them." The air shifted. The rake, a simple garden tool, now viewed through a tactical lens. She rose slowly, standing tall, movements fluid, calm. No sudden gestures, no fear, just steady eye contact. Eyes that didn't plead, didn't challenge. Eyes that assessed. Then the sound. Tires on gravel, slow, heavy. Black SUV crept into view. Unmarked. No sirens, no flash, just presence. The officers turned. The SUV stopped. Back door opened. Out stepped a man in black. No badge, no nameplate, just a silver falcon pin on his collar. He walked past them like they were shadows. "Commander," he said, addressing her directly, "we've been trying to reach you." "I wasn't hiding," she replied simply. Her first words all day. The man turned to the officers. "These 2 bothering you?" She glanced at them. "Just doing their job." Poorly? No anger, just truth. The man didn't wait for debate. He opened the SUV again. "We need you. It's active." She peeled off her gloves, set them neatly on the bench, and climbed in. Without another word, the SUV pulled away. Inside, he handed her a dossier. Black cover, red seal, level 6 directive. Return. "We lost control of the facility at 0400. 4 containment protocols failed. Last come. Echo override failed." The director's gone dark. She read it all in under 30 seconds, then closed it. "You brought the wrong team," she said. "That's why we came for you." At Joint Operations Command, the air was charged. Screens blinked. Personnel whispered. A controlled chaos only seen in crises. "Ma'am, you're not authorized," but that sentence didn't finish. Colonel Ramirez looked up. He recognized her instantly. "Let her through," he ordered. "Sir, protocol," I said. "Let her through." Then louder. "Everyone below tier 4 out." Now. She approached the operations table, opened the file again, pointed. "You're reading the shutdown key backwards. Last 4 digits aren't a code. They're a date." Silence fell. Young analyst whispered. She cracked it. With one look. "Who is she?" a lieutenant asked. Ramirez answered. She's the contingency plan. When a through D fail, you call E. Is E her name? No, it's a warning. In less than 20 minutes, she restored 3 satellite uplinks, reconfigured firewalls manually, and redirected power grids. No keyboard, no commands, just presence. She pointed, and it was done. No title, no authority badge. But the room followed her like gravity, because command isn't about rank. It's about competence. By midnight, she stepped out of a tactical van onto the fog-lit ground near a lockdown biointelligence facility 60 miles west. Signal dark for 18 hours. You're going in alone? Her escort asked. If I go in with someone, we'll argue. If I go in alone, it'll listen. She wore no weapon, just a thin wrist device blinking blue. Decon chamber, doors sealed, a sterile corridor ahead. Automated AI flickered on, unauthorized. Entity detected. Proceed to containment. She whispered. Override. Wraith 09R silence. The ride accepted. Welcome back, Director. 10 minutes later, power restored. Uplink stabilized. Files restored. The chaos ended. She called in. It's not compromised. It's lonely. You left it too long in the dark. What do we do now? Ramirez asked. Bring coffee and someone who knows how to listen. She walked out, pace calm. No fanfare, no cheers, just completion. The storm had passed. The next morning, the black SUV returned her home. Same driveway, same gloves on the bench, same rake by the fence. A neighbor watched through the curtain. Mrs. Patterson, the one who called. She saw her neighbor exit that black SUV, unchanged. No press, no sirens, no arrests, just quiet. Inside, the woman poured black coffee, picked up the paperback she had been reading. No urgency, no explanation. On the table lay a folded note. We'll try not to need you again. She folded it once, tucked it under firewood. No drama, just closure. Back at the local police station, Daniel sat at his desk. She didn't threaten us, he said slowly, but I've never felt more out of place in my life. She wasn't just someone, Morrison replied. She was somewhere else entirely, and we didn't belong in her world. No report was filed. Because how do you report a ghost? She didn't need backup. She was the backup, the last line, the forgotten ace. The reason there's still a country left to protect. Subscribe for more stories where legends live quiet. Only on Iron Heart Stories.